Hello, everybody. It's the Pearl of Wisdom Show. I see John Weichel is in there like a dirty shirt already. Not much going on. We're going to have to make some fun stuff up to do. I did the last video. No, wait. I got one more video I got to do. Or two. I did the Central, I did the Colorado, whatever division that is. I did that video, and but I haven't put it out yet. So just starting up, just going to put that out this weekend. Oh, so you ask if Peyton is going to be in, and then he's not, and then you go away. Oh, what do I have? Let me see if I have this edited out all right. Yeah, thumbnail's fine. Looks good. Okay. All right, who's here? Hello, Lauren. How you doing, buddy? So I was just saying I got the video done. I guess I thought I might get into some preseason stuff today. Since it is preseason, I should talk about it, I guess. Let me open it up. I'll open up some preseason stuff here. Hey, Mercer, how you doing, man? Mercer in the house, Lauren in the house. All right, preseason. Who's winning preseason? Anybody know? $11 days. 11 days. That seems like such a long, long ways away. Yeah, the Canes versus Lightning. Are the Canes playing the Lightning tonight? Let's take a look at some of the things that happened last night, I guess. We can talk about some of the players anyways. Nashville and Tampa Bay played last night. Nashville won 6-2. So who did they have in net? That's one thing you can kind of maybe get a little bit of idea. Matt Duchene scored last night. Wow. Harper from, who else? Forsberg got a couple. Igor Afanaseyev, that's the new guy that they had, that they've been watching. He's got 2 goals so far in the preseason. Oh, he got 3. He got another one. He got another one last night. So this Afanaseyev character is, let me look him up. Afanaseyev, I can't remember when they drafted him. I remember the name. Igor Afanaseyev, 20 years old, 2nd round pick in 2019. Yeah, what, 6 points in 18 games playing for KHL last year. Yeah, there was some players on waivers. We'll get into that in a second. I'm just looking at. Yeah, so, there was some players on waivers. So 20. I mean, when the heck was he drafted? Okay, Muskegoon Lumberjacks in the U.S. Hockey League. He played for Windsor 2019-20. When he was 18, he had 31 goals and 67 points. He is 6'2". He's got the body of an NHLer. But like I said, it's preseason. It's hard to tell. He probably is just trying harder than everybody else and he's scoring. Blackwood's unvaccinated? Okay. Let me look at NHL. So I can see you guys. Yeah. They signed him as a free agent, I believe. I think he'll be fine. He's going to have a better defense in front of him. That's for sure. So it's hard to say. Will he be better than McElhinney? Probably. I would say it's pretty likely he'll be better than McElhinney. McElhinney was just a pile of poop last year. He was terrible. Then again, they didn't play well in front of him either, so... Well, he had a good career, but he was getting up there. He was up there all right. Yeah, I think he'll be better than McElhinney. And they don't need all that much with Vasilevsky there, so... I suppose if Vasilevsky ever got injured, but he never gets injured. So... Yeah, I mean, he had good years. He was your consummate backup. He played for quite a few teams. Geez, I know he played for Carolina. He was a backup in Edmonton, or a backup for Toronto, I mean. I want to say St. Louis. I don't feel like looking it up, though. He played for a lot of teams, and he played a long career. Yeah. Yeah, he was just getting, that was it. It was over. You know, he played a lot of years, and he was getting old, so... He played for the Blue Jackets, right? That's right. Blue Jackets. Didn't he spend some time in Detroit? I want to say, maybe. See, in order to look it up, I'd actually have to spell his name properly. That was the toughest name I had to spell. Maybe if I looked at the teams. See if anything. Did he play with Florida for a bit? I want to say LA too. Like there was a lot of teams. Oops. I'm sure I got McElhinney. Maybe he didn't play for as many teams as I thought. He had 249 games played. Calgary. He started his career in Calgary. Then went to Anaheim, then to Ottawa, Phoenix, Columbus. So I was wrong. There was like I knew he was a whole bunch of games played. He only played 2 games in Phoenix and 7 in Ottawa. Toronto. I was right about Toronto. Carolina, he played 1 year. But he had a career .907 and a 2.83, which is like pretty solid career backup numbers. And yeah, he almost had, well, he had 94 wins and 95 losses. Not too bad of a career for a backup, for sure. Yeah, I just looked that up. But Elliott will probably be better than him, I think. I mean, it's hard to tell honestly, it's just hard to tell what Elliott will be because Philadelphia's defense was so bad last year. He didn't look terrible. Like Carter Hart looked worse than him quite often. So that tells you something. Okay. The Sparks look good for the Kings, okay. Possibly. It wouldn't surprise me if Kornash took the #1 goaltender spot from Arizona from Hutton. I wouldn't be surprised. Should they be? I don't know. I can't tell. Like, from what I saw with San Jose, like, he didn't really get a chance to. He didn't really get a chance to play enough games to see if they'll find his holes. He looked like he overcommits a little bit too much. So, in that way, I would say no. But, I mean, it's Carter Hutton. So, the only thing I think that could happen with Carter Hutton is that he, he's out of Buffalo now. So, you could see an energy change and all that. But depending on what type of system Turney puts in, I have a feeling that Turney wants everybody to be in crazy shape. So you got to play hard for him. And that's why I think they hired him. Right now, they just want everybody to be playing. They want people that are going to go there and play their bag off. The only way they're going to win is if they outwork the opposition because they're not going to outskill anybody, that's for sure. So basically, Turney is there to, I think, for the first couple of years, to keep young players accountable. I think Carter Hutton and Kornash is the perfect combination of goaltenders that you have if you're not trying to win. Let's put it that way. Their combination should give you a pretty good chance to not win. So if your goal is to not win, I'd say they did a pretty good job. And I think their goal is pretty much to not win. So well done. But going back to preseason, oh shit. going back to preseason, yeah, so you got like that Nashville Predators guy. I can't tell. Do I know if he got 3 goals so far in the preseason? Does that mean he's going to play? Not necessarily. But if he came in perfect physical, in good physical condition, I suppose he has a pretty good chance. I was looking at, what was I looking at? What else did I want to look at? Oh, yeah, what did the Wings do? See that, like, Luukkonen was in net for the Buffalo Sabres. I have a feeling they're really going to try to give him every chance to get as many games as, like, they really want him to play a lot of games. That's the reason why they got Anderson there, 40-year-old, to help the kid out, help him mentally and all that kind of stuff like that. Now, he got lit up last night. 5 goals in, well, how many shots was that? 31 shots? Does that mean anything, though? No, it doesn't mean anything. That's why I have a difficult time. Like, Nedeljkovic played, he got let 2 goals in. It'll get more interesting as we get closer to camp and we see who's still there. I don't know, who's this New Power? Anybody know who New Power is? That's a new one for me. Renouf has always been a tweener AHL guy. Lucas Raymond got a goal last night. The Riley Barber hasn't been cut yet. That's good. I'd like to see him be able to finish off his career in the NHL. He's been a career minor leaguer his whole career. Six teams that need new uniform design. Okay, what 6 teams were they? If he's physically mature enough to be ready, and he looks like he's doing everything you need him to do in your practices, and he looks like he can compete, those sort of things like that, give him a shot, yeah. But a guy could score 3 goals in preseason and not be doing that, because it's preseason. It's easy to score in preseason. You just got to outwork people that are not working hard. So, talking about which 6 teams need a new uniform design, did they figure? Did they go sacrilege and go with the Toronto Maple Leafs? Hey, CL! Woo! How you doing? I can't stand the Ducks. I don't like the Ducks' name or uniforms. Like, I don't. It's ridiculous that you have a team in the NHL and the Penguins too. By the way, Pittsburgh Penguins. I can't. That ridiculous name. Islanders. I don't mind. Predators are ugly. But that's the colors, though. He's talking about new uniform design. Yeah, I mean, like I said, to me, it doesn't matter about the preseason. What has he been doing in scrimmages and practice? If he's out working people in scrimmage and practice, and he's coming in, he came, first of all, are you coming in physically in top condition? That's the first thing first. If you come into camp and you're not in peak condition right off the get-go, for me, if you're a young player, you're not likely going to make it. Period, right off the get-go. How could you possibly come into camp and not be in peak physical condition? I'll give you the best trainers I can get you on everything. There's no excuse for it whatsoever. And if you're not, you're not likely going to make it. Simple as that. So it sounds like this kid probably did. I don't know. He's still there. We'll see if he gets cut. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut. I don't know. 3 goals in preseason doesn't tell me much. So I can only watch preseason games, and I haven't been watching them anyways. So I can't be at the arena and see what he's like or what he did. I don't know what his conditioning stats were. I don't know anything about it. So I know that he didn't have like great offensive numbers coming in. So last year, I used to be able to watch preseason games. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't even just say that, because there was preseason games on last night that I probably could have flipped on and checked. I should have saw if my center ice package is clicked in yet. I'm just going to see. I don't know if I'll have a chance to watch anything tonight anyway. I guess I can watch the new Rangers and Devils tonight at 8 o'clock. What time was that? No, I can watch Rangers and Devils tonight, I guess. Apparently. But but besides that, I mean, I used to, like, before ESPN took over on Sportsnet, they used to play. Now, I live in Edmonton, as you know, and they're not even showing Edmonton Oilers games. In Canada, they're not showing Edmonton Oilers games on TV. The TNT camera was going wild. What was that? TNT camera. 5 current viewers. Woo! Thanks for coming in. Sit yourself down. Tell me Ask us anything. Ask when you or say anything. Comment anything. Tell me what you're thinking about preseason so far. Tell me what you're thinking about what regular season is going to be like. Who's going to suck? Who's going to be good? Who's going to score a lot? Whatever. Anything. Tell me what you're thinking out there. I don't know. I think my concurrent viewers thing has gone all cray-cray though. Oh, it was cutting in and out and the scoreboard was all over the place? Wow. That's crazy. Anyways, looking at Detroit, Lucas Raymond had 15 minutes of ice time. Witkowski had a couple fights last. He's still going. Luke Witkowski is still going for Detroit. Pius Suter played 20 minutes, had 3 assists. And then you got Verbeek, Elson, Martin, Spezla. I don't even know who those guys are. For Buffalo, Jack Quinn played last night. I don't think he's going to be ready yet this year. Apparently Cousins came in just beastly shape. What do I think the Barkov extension looks like? It depends on Barkov. It depends on Barkov. If Barkov wants to be in Florida, they might get away with $9 million. But if he wants market value, he's going to get double digits. He's going to get $10 million a year for 8. So yes, Kemper will probably be up there with Vezina possibilities this year. He got good numbers with an Arizona team that played it was a defensive type game, but it was too defensive. And he ended up taking a crap load of shots. This playing in front of that defense, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he was in that area between 0.92 and 0.93. It's the sky's the limit for him in that situation, I think. What do you figure, CL? I figure it's got to be at least 9. And then we didn't even talk about the Vancouver extensions. They haven't come out and said how much it is yet. They said that Hughes got a 5-year. Yeah, it was his last year there. Last year, things went south for Kemper quite a bit. And that's really the big question is, he was injured last year quite a bit. Him and Ranta were trading off injuries. He'd come back from injury, Ranta would go on injured reserve. Then Ranta would come back, he would go on. But actually, Ranta was injured more often than he was. I'm sure he would. It depends how much he wants to stay in Florida. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're going to try to get him for 9. I don't know how much they're going to push the envelope with him. They still got to sign Huberdeau, right? To a long term as well. When did they got to sign Huberdeau? Or did they sign Huberdeau already? Huberdeau in 2 more years is going to be in that area too. So this is the time right now for Florida because you got Huberdeau at a 5.9 right now. You know, Barkov's going to go, I think it's going to be 10. Then you still got to sign Vetrano, who isn't going to demand a lot, but he should demand over 2.5. Everybody else isn't too difficult to sign. But Huberdeau is probably going to be in that 10 range, especially if he does another 100-point season again. So that's going to be a lot of their cap in a couple of years. And then Mackenzie Weegar too. So Florida's going to have fun with cap in the next year or two. Right now, they're only projected to have $14 million in cap space next year. And they got to sign Barkov. Won't leave them too much. And they've had their own internal cap up until now, but they're going to have to throw that out the window if they're going to sign these guys. Yeah, if they can get it for 9.5, I think consider themselves pretty fortunate. And then Sam Reinhart has got a couple more years yet, but like who just signed really big contracts for forwards recently? Yeah, they still don't have Elias Pettersson, what his number was. I heard it was 6 point. I heard that Hughes is 6.75 for 5 or something like that. And then they're only giving Pettersson a 3-year. That could come back and bite them pretty hard. But I guess they have no choice. They have no cap room at all. And then they'll relook at things after that. I think even at that, I still think Miller or Besser is going to have to be traded. I don't know. Besser, depends how much Besser wants. After them both taking 6.75, I know there was talk of Besser being traded before this, and that usually means that they don't like the number he's talking about. So what is he? I imagine that number was probably higher than what they just gave Pettersson and Hughes. Yeah, if Besser comes in and says he wants 7.5 or something like that, I don't know what they're going to do. They put themselves in a very tough situation for sure. Yeah, anybody would love to have Besser. Holy crap. Just imagine if Edmonton found a way to get Besser on to get the cap situation to work. Like trade Nugent Hopkins and a couple other players for Besser and have Besser and McDavid together. Oh my gosh. That would be disgusting. That would be absolutely cray-cray. $9.5 million. Yeah, you could keep it like that, but that lineup would be just absurd, though. I don't. Their defense might, like if they did that, it might not even matter that their defense is poor. They would just outscore everybody so often. It would be incredible. I can't wait till I have time to do fantasy. I'm really excited about doing it sometime, but going by how much, it just seems like a lot of time. And I find that my time already takes an awful lot of time. Like with what I got to do. Yeah. I can ask me fantasy questions just for fun. Like, who's the number one fantasy defenseman this year? It's Makar. Besides Makar, after Makar. Makar is number one fantasy defenseman for sure. Do you guys do trades and everything like that? I don't think I'd take Fox that high. It depends on what the value is for your fantasy. If you're looking for points, do you have plus minus? Do you have our goals greater than assists? Rarely a trade goes through. Like in your fantasies, I'm gonna write it up here. Let's talk fantasy. Now Darnell Nurse he won't put up the goals that he did before. So like in the ones you're in, are goals worth more than assists, or are they both equal? I think Hedman will have a big year this year. He's healthy now, finally. I don't know, maybe not. Letang's not a bad... Letang is terrible defensively, but if it's all just for points, Letang's a good pickup. Like, so goals are worth more than assists. Okay. Well, that changes things. Maybe I will put... Because I don't think Fox scored a lot of goals, though, last year, did he? Five goals and 42 assists. So I'm not sure Fox is going to, like, that's pretty much what Fox is, I think, right around that, like, 60-point guy, somewhere around there, 50 to 60-point guy on a regular basis. Carlson would be up there, yeah. Now, I'd still think Carlson, I would be rocking Carlson if you're looking at goals and assists. Carlson for sure. He's going to get all the power play time. I know you could probably get in cheap with just because of the optics. Like, people don't look at it from a fantasy perspective. They look at it more from like players that they like far too often. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this player either, but Tyson Barrie would be a guy I'd be looking at. He's going to put up tons of points. And he'll always score double-digit goals for you. Almost always. He's got a killer shot. How about your league, CL? Is that the same thing? Power play goals and power play points, then I would definitely be going heavy on Carlson, Tyson Barrie. I think Hamilton in New Jersey would probably be a good pickup. He's a guy that scores A lot of goals. He's going to play on the power play all day there. Like, who else is going to play on the power play, really? I don't know. No, I think he's doing it with his buddies. He's doing fantasy with his buddies. I would take, people say Peter Angelo. I would take Theodore over Peter Angelo. I would take Theodore over Peter Angelo. That's your late pick. I'll bet you, people forget all about Theodore. This should be a goalie-heavy fantasy draft, too. I know, like, if I'm doing fantasy, I probably wouldn't do goalies. I would probably take my goaltenders later, but this year, maybe not. Of course, Vasilevsky will be the first off the board. What a good surprise goaltenders like that. If you're like down to your last pick, if you're down to your last pick and you don't have a goaltender, or you still need a goaltender, I would take Ottinger from Dallas. I think Ottinger could just absolutely crush if he takes the number one away from Hudobin, and I wouldn't doubt if he does. I don't understand. It seems to me, it looks like, what's Holtby still doing there? Why do they still have Hudobin still there? I don't understand it. Like, Ottinger was their best goaltender last year. Yeah, he's got it. I'd probably take him in the top 10 or 15. Vasilevsky for sure. Let me see, diamond in the rough goaltenders. Carter Hart could turn into a diamond in the rough goaltender. Hollebuck is not a diamond in the rough. What do you get? What are your goaltender stats? What do you get those worth? What do you get? Wins? Do you get points for save save percentage and all that stuff too? I think we lost Lauren. Lauren doesn't like fantasy draft, obviously. Oh, okay. We didn't lose Lauren. Okay. Wins are worth 4. And 3 points for a shutout. Oh. Yeah, for sure. I would hold out. Oh, I know for sure who I'm taking. I would hold out I would take a top-notch goaltender like Hellebuck or something like that at first. And then I would hold... How many goaltender selections do you have? We already did all of them, didn't we? Didn't we do all the divisions now? Saves are 1, goals are -1. .6 for every save. Minimum of 2 goalies and a maximum of 4 goalie picks. Late, if you're late in the round and you got a goaltender pick, I just have a feeling Peterson from LA will be there. I would nab him. Peterson from LA would be a great pickup. LA could have a really good year this year. I think LA is going to have a really good year this year. And nobody's going to think of, very few people are going to think of Peterson. They're going to go with all the sexy picks. Like, Lehner will be gone early, I'm sure. Fleury will be gone early. Vasilevsky, Hellebuyck. People will take, like, take Peterson late. I bet you nobody touches Peterson till the end. Kemper will be off early. People will take Kemper. People will take Demko before they take Peterson. I bet people will take Demko before they take Peterson. Markstrom before Peterson probably. Like, he'll go late, and I think he'd be a great pickup. Jake Allen was one of your last picks. Because you got 18 picks, right? So you got an 18-rounder. Demko actually wouldn't be too bad of a pick either because Vancouver's weak. You're probably not going to get too many shutouts, though. But you'll probably get some pretty decent wins because of that weak division. I don't mind Demko. I know one guy that probably will fall and I'd be all over in the middle rounds would be Reinhart for Florida. You already selected who, Lauren? Yeah, I'd have to take a good look at, like, so goals are the most, you're getting 3 for goals and 2 for assists. So, like, a guy like, oh, you already selected Reinhart? Okay. Yeah, right. Which teams are going to score a ton of points for sure? Reinhart to me is a great pickup. I think Reinhart's going to put top three round points up on the board for people, and you'll probably be able to get him in the 5th or 6th. If they go according to what I usually see, they usually take names that they know. So yeah, I love Reinhardt as a value play for sure. What about what other guys? Like I would lay off Islanders for the most part. People will probably take Islanders like crazy, but they're not a huge offensive team. So I think it would be a good idea to pick some Flyers up this year because people are just going to remember them as a bad team last year, but they're probably going to have a rebound year this year. So, like, as much as I'm not a fan of him, Rasmus Ristolainen will probably put up some pretty killer points. And score. He's got a killer shot. How many goals has he scored in his career? Max. Yeah, he's almost double digits. Ristolainen would be a great last pick of the draft or something like that. That would be a great last pick. Lawton served you pretty well. McKinnon, I think McKinnon's got to be in there somewhere. Draisaitl or McKinnon. Matthews is going to score 60 goals this year. And if you're getting 3 goals a game, if you're getting 3 points on goals, you got Pius Suter on one of your last picks? You mean Jays lost last night? Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal that Jays lost last night. Ray didn't have his best didn't have his best game in a night that they needed him most. Get out of here. What, last year you traded Jeff Skinner for Pius Suter? Or this year? What is he thinking about there? I have no idea. Why would he even pick Suter if he was going to trade him for Skinner? That's ridiculous. But let me guess, Skinner's having a good preseason, which means nothing. That's what I would do. I would watch, if I was doing fantasy hockey, I would watch preseason and just watch people try to trade. Oh, he's having a good preseason. I'll give him to you. I was like, okay. Well, Svechnikov just needs to get in shape and focus on hockey. That's it. If he did those 2 things, he would be fine. He has all the talent in the world. I was actually surprised that they did let him go, though, after he didn't have a bad second half. But, I mean, you'd have to be in a really deep draft to worry about taking a guy like Svechnikov. Oh, of course I would take it. I mean, geez. I can't believe Skinner would be on the board at all for anything. Why would anybody take Skinner for anything at any time in any round? I mean, the guy is just horse crap. It's terrible. I don't know. Why did the Leafs lose to Montreal in what? In the playoffs? Because Montreal got into their heads, that's why. Corey Perry did a heck of a job of getting into their heads. That's what Corey Perry does. He's amazing at it. No, you can't sell what you're going to get at a price this year. If somebody will probably pick him, and if he does have a great regular season, then I guess you get lucky. But you would be getting. I would think you'd be getting lucky to do that. What's some more good late round picks? I wonder if Ryan Ellis would go where Ryan Ellis would go in Philadelphia. I just have a feeling people are going to forget about Philadelphia. Ryan Ellis, Provorov, they would be some awesome late picks if you got defensemen left. I think people are going to be fading Philadelphia after they had a poor year last year. Gunsel, yeah. Where did you get Gunsel? What round did you get Gunsel in at an 18 round? That's a pretty good pick. Do you remember where Reinhart went in your pool? In your fantasy? Yeah, Lundell. He's a rookie. I'm not sure. I think there'd be more I think there'd be players I'd be more likely to pick than Lundell at that stage, depending on how deep your draft is. But if you got a really, really, really deep draft, yeah, Lundell would be a pretty good option. He was gone in the first 4? Yeah, I don't know if he's going to pull out that many points, Podkolzin, and I probably would fade him till I saw him at least 1 year. I don't think he's going to be I don't think he would get that many points this year. Maybe like 30 tops, I would say, for Podkolzin. Somewhere around there. Yeah, I probably wouldn't take a chance on Lindblom yet. Again, those are like late rounds. I'm trying to find guys that, like, if you're, I don't know, once you get down to the 18th, then I guess you might be into guys like Lindblom and stuff like that, eh? I'm seeing if I can find guys that for sure are going to have good years, but will probably be late picks. Oh, there's another one. I think people will probably be fading Heidel. Philip Heidel. I think Philip Heidel will take Ryan Strome's spot this year. He's not as a sexy pick as I had before, like the defenseman guys. If you're down in 18, are you going to be like? Would you think if Heidel was available down in 18, I would give him a shot because I think he's got an opportunity to beat out Strome for a second line center. I think it's possible that people might fade him because they don't really know much about him or what have you. I don't know how knowledgeable the people are in your pool, in your fantasy draft. It'd be interesting to see where players like that went. But I would like Heidel if I could get him late. Offensive team too. Team that plays a lot of offense. Maybe you're right about Lindblom if you're talking about getting really that deep into it and you're looking for guys. Looking for guys that could just go right off and nobody sees it coming. Again, I would look at Los Angeles guys quite a bit. I don't think you could get him late. Maybe Victor Arvidsson getting a chance in LA after wallowing in Nashville for the last little while, but I don't know if you'd be able to get him late or not. Yeah, 1 year older. A guy like Arvidsson, Mercer, where would he have gone in your draft? That'll give me an idea where what kind of players you're looking at down in that 18 spot. But I bet you Peterson, a guy like Peterson in LA, he would be. I like your idea there to pick keep a couple goaltenders late, if like, you're really if you're really taking fourth one. Probably in the first 10 rounds. Okay, so you're getting down to like rookies and stuff like that may be able to go off. So CL's probably exactly right. And the Svechnikov would be a good choice by Lauren. Lauren said Svechnikov. I think that would be a good choice because I think he's going to get a really good chance in Winnipeg. So yeah, that'd be like really late. Then you'd want to probably be looking at some really young teams. Yeah, Allmark yeah. I don't know if you'd be able to get either one of those guys late, but if you could, that'd be great. Save a defenseman and give Moritz Seider a shot. He's going to get top 4 minutes in Detroit. If you're getting down to the nitty-gritty stuff like that. Adam Boquist in Columbus. Do you think he would be able to hide far enough to get down there? Adam Boquist. I think Adam Boquist will have a great year in Columbus, and there might be a really good chance that people don't see him coming at all. Would you agree with that? Holy Devendra, where the heck have you been? Oh, nice. You're going to be at the Kings Knights game tonight. Where the heck have you been? I haven't seen you for a long time. We're starting to must be getting close to regular season now. He was picked very late. I think that was a great pickup, whoever got him. I think Boquist is probably going to get top 2 minutes in Columbus this year. I'll keep scrounging here. So, Devendra, yeah, you're back. Wow, awesome. You're going to the game tonight against LA, eh? I'm hoping I can get out to Vegas this year and see a couple games. That would be freaking awesome. Yeah. It's beginning to look a lot like hockey season. Some of the guys some people are coming out of the work. Where's Serrano? He's on the live stream still all the time, but I don't see him in here very often. You worked a live game selling beer. Did you smell like beer after the game? I used to be a bartender. Smell like Devendra, wow. Oh yeah. Did you drink any of those beer, Devendra? So are you work for them, or did you do it for did they do it for charity then? Heifer Bisons, oh yeah. So do you work for that? Do you work for the Golden Knights then? Like for the arena? Oh, we'll be at the Kraken game too. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Sweet. All under the same thing, I guess. Do you do fantasy hockey, Devendra? We were talking some fantasy hockey. I was looking for some good cheapies you could pick up. I liked Boquist. Adam Boquist was a good pickup. So you could, Mason Appleton then would be a good one too, probably. Mason Appleton would be one to pick up. Oh, just in baseball mode. I don't know where Joey Serrano is. He's in, I see him, I saw him in Off the Walls live once. I saw him on Mason Appleton, yeah. I think he could go up that lineup pretty quick. I saw him on Hot Take Hockey, John, both of the Johns there. But he hasn't been on here. He says that he's carousing with the ladies. Doesn't have time to come on here now. He'll probably come back when we start doing picks again. Mason Appleton. The only thing about Mason Appleton is Seattle's sort of like the sexy team right now, so people might take a good look at their roster and maybe he goes early just because of that. Because people are really watching it. They got Ivan Rodriguez playing between Zucker and Kapanen in Pittsburgh. Man, I don't like this roster for Pittsburgh. Hey, Bill, how you doing? All right, who's on waivers today? Okay. I think Gord will do okay because he doesn't need... He's a kind of guy that needs the puck. He can do a lot of stuff on his own. He's a drive to the net center. So I think he'll do all right because of that. But, I mean, I don't think he's going to get crazy points or anything like that. Wouldn't be a bad... People might forget about him because he's injured, though. It might not be a bad late pick for sure. So who's on waivers today? Anybody in here that just popped in, thanks for coming in. A little Perla dance for you. Got 7 concurrents going here there, buddy. We were talking fantasy, but we'll talk whatever you want to talk about. There was some guys on waivers today. $16 players put on waivers. There's only a couple like Ben Gleason, like who cares? Joel Esperance from Dallas could get picked up. I could see Seattle picking up a couple of these guys because they need some depth on their lineup. Noah Juleson from Florida. Man, that guy is just not going to make it, I guess. His injuries just ruined him. He was a first-round pick of Montreal Canadiens, and he just never could make it. Doesn't look like he's ever going to make it. This one's going to hurt for him, going on waivers here. It's just preseason, Bill. Doesn't mean anything, honestly. That's why I don't watch it. I don't watch preseason because it really... It plays with my mind. Like I start thinking, like, I don't know, subconsciously it affects me. But I know that it means absolutely nothing whatsoever. It means nothing. Yeah, it should be pretty cool. Let's see what else. Taylor Fadoon from Pittsburgh. I would pick him up if I was looking for some defensive depth. And there's some teams that need it too. Taylor Fadoon on waivers. I would pick him up. Maybe Dallas will pick him back up again because they need some depth still. Especially a guy like Forbert, you can't really judge what his preseason because his game does not do well for preseason. The opposition doesn't want you hitting them too hard and all that kind of stuff like that, and that's his game. So you really can't tell where Forbert's at in a preseason game. And maybe Holla too, like those guys pretty much. Nick Merkley is sent down in San Jose. Mason Shaw, Joe Hickett's in Minnesota, nothing major. Yeah, they're pounding it down in preseason. They'll loosen it up in regular season, but they're really getting it across in preseason that we're watching cross-checking. There was a lot of cross-checks that were like, wow, that's getting over the line. The line is definitely being lowered. I don't think it's going to be as low as what you've been seeing in preseason, and I don't know what that's been. Have they been calling a crap load of cross-checks in the preseason? I don't know why anybody's cross-checking anybody in preseason anyways. Unless you're just kind of pushing them. But if you're actually cross-checking people in the back in preseason, you're a jerk. If you're actually like cross-checking people in the kidneys and the ribs hard in preseason, you're a jerk. You're a jerk. Because you're just causing your team to be at threat of being injured. I mean, cross-checking is always going to be part of the game, but it was getting to the point where it was a little ridiculous. Like the guy's down on the ice and you're smacking him like 3 times. But a lot of that happened because you weren't. Yeah, and that's what happens, right? That kind of cross-checking didn't happen when you could actually take somebody out with your body in front of the net more. When you could push him out, like what are you going to do to get somebody out in front of the net now? Like, you're not allowed to do much to move a guy in front of the net. You pretty much got to let him sit there. Can't cross-check him off. Yeah, it used to be before you could kind of clutch and grab a little bit and push him away, get him away. But now you can't. So guys were cross-checking a lot more. So that's what. Yeah, not too much on waivers, really. Ooh, we got some news on Eichel here. Ozzy Scream song, yeah. Rock you like a hurricane. That is kind of cheesy, actually. Oh, finally. Interested teams are now receiving Eichel's medical information as it is collected. So it's still a stalemate with Buffalo about the type of procedure they're going to use. But I honestly think I honestly think that well, it's possible that they just didn't have it available. And until they got the news people were looking for, they made it available. I think that Buffalo really wanted to, just came down that they wanted to trade Eichel, but they want it to make it look like it's because of the surgery crossroads, so it doesn't hurt their fans so much. And it seems that they've kind of won their war in that regard, because talking to Buffalo fans, I'm hearing a lot of fans taking the ownership side. But a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's more like you want to take the ownership side because it's hard to root for a team when you think your ownership is an absolute disaster. It makes you feel hopeless. Well, if they can get their medical records and the doctors of the team that's trading for them can say, you know what, I'm fine with, you can be fine with the surgery that he wants, then you're going to see a deal. Alex Lyon is on waivers now? Okay, well, that makes sense. It looks like Tyler Ennis is going to land a spot. It looks like Tyler Ennis is going to land a spot on Ottawa. Kevin Adams is curing players? What do you mean by curing players? Yeah. Yeah, as it stands, he's probably Lyon is probably a cheaper version of Hutton. Give Lyon an opportunity to make some NHL salary for full time. He'd be happier than heck. Woo! Are you asking, or did he actually sign with the Leafs? Oh, what about Barkov? No, it just talks, I guess Elliot Friedman says that the Florida that Barkov is looking for a deal over $10 million a year. So is cutting players? Well, that should be. It's getting to the point where you're going to cut players. Rumors that he signs. I don't know what his attitude is like and stuff like that. I have no idea. But, I mean, he's got to come a long ways attitude-wise to play in the NHL. Hopefully he's matured. He'll probably, $10.5 million, something like that would be it. I would hope I could get it for 10. It'd be lovely to get him for 10 million, but probably won't. See if we can find any other rumors up here. Well, you got players that just aren't ready. They just aren't ready. There's no use having them there. What's the use of keeping them up? If they're not ready, they're not ready. They figure out what they for sure need to do. They set up a plan for how that player can better themselves, whether it be skating or whatever, and then send them down. Leafs put somebody on waivers. I have no idea. See, those are junior players. I have no idea who they are. Oh, no, Nahom Halu, Darnell Henderson, Justin. Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about, Nahom? I've never heard of those names. No, I don't think he gets that many goals. You think Kemp can get 15 to 20 goals this year? What did he get, like 2 last year? He's not a good offensive player at all. He's getting picked up. You think he's going to get picked up off waivers? Toronto put somebody on waivers that somebody wants? Why? Why would they do that? I can't see Toronto putting somebody on waivers that somebody wants. They don't have enough depth. 16 placed on waivers. Oh, Timu Kivalami or whatever his name is. I have no idea who that is. I've never heard of the guy before. I think they had no choice but to give him a significant amount of money. Because at this point, Dahlin doesn't really want to be there, I would imagine, if he had a choice. They gave him a dollar value that sort of said, we've let you down so far, so we believe you're going to be way better. It was a, we believe you're better, we let you down and you're still a great player, so we're going to pay you this much for Dahlin, which they really are. It's just damage control now. There's been so much damage done with that organization. They pretty much have to beg people to stay. So the good thing about being on that team right now is that you're probably going to get overpaid. Look at Skinner. Skinner was like that too. You never heard of him? No, never heard of him. So I don't think anybody's going to pick up a player that Kyle Mercer and I have never heard of. I find it very highly unlikely. Kyle Okposo on waivers? Can they do that? Doesn't he have a no movement clause? I could have swore he did. Oh, he's got a moderate no trade clause. Modified no trade. Okay, so I suppose they could put him on waivers. It wouldn't matter. They don't need to send him down. Nobody's going to take him. So even if they did put him on waivers, like nobody's going to take Okposo at $6 million a year. There's just no way. Anyways, if you came in and you were looking for fantasy stuff, just ask me some questions about fantasy, like, not questions, but tell me who your cheapies are going to be. What are your guys lower down in the line, lower down in the lower rounds? What are your guys? Tell me about it. I'll tell you what mine are. I don't actually play fantasy, but I could if I wanted to. I have plenty of ability to do so. I just generally don't have time. Zach Delpy on waivers. Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad little guy for somebody to pick up for an energy guy every once in a while. Zach Delpy's a good guy. Like if your team is getting complacent and needs a boost of somebody that comes there and wants to earn a contract and gives every inch of everything he has at every moment he's on the ice. And you want to basically say, you know what? Why don't you, I'm going to bring up Jacques Delpy. Anybody that can start playing anywhere near this guy can stay, as far as energy is concerned, because he gives everything he's got. The guy's, it's too bad. If he was like 2 inches taller and but 20 pounds heavier, he would have had a long NHL career. Yeah, Okposo contract was terrible. And Garth Snow managed to realize that it wasn't a good contract and let him go, and then gave Ladd the exact same amount of money right after that. Like, ouch! Oh my gosh! You get out from under a bad contract, and then you just. Kyle Okposo is a good example of that tells you how good Tavares was when he was on the island. He made Okposo look so good. And then he got this huge contract from Buffalo because Tavares made him look like he was a good hockey player. There's, you know what? There's a couple guys. They might be gone early. Do you think that? Do you think Casey Middlestad will probably be in the first 10 rounds? Eh. Another good late pick. If you have plus minus, probably not. Henri Jokiharju. I can't remember. Did you say that Jokiharju or that you had plus minus Mercer in your fantasy draft? Oh, yeah, he'll get a crack somewhere along the line. I mean, maybe even this year. I don't know. Hard-working guy. He's a good hard worker, but they want him to work on his offense. You could probably keep Fabian Lysell on your roster, and he'll forever be a fourth liner, but you invested a first in him. Okay, so you don't have plus minus? Jokiharju from Buffalo. He's probably going to play a crap load of minutes, power play, everything. That would be a great late pick if you don't have plus minus, because this plus minus is going to be abysmal. But his points would probably look really good. Peyton's doing a franchise mode right now. D'Angelo would be a great late pick. Yeah, probably people will completely forget about him. I'm not sure Bear will put up a lot of points for you. D'Angelo would be a good pickup, though. I have a feeling D'Angelo would probably go in the top 12, somewhere around there. But if he falls through the cracks because everybody thinks he's going to be a doughhead, then yeah, it'd be a great pickup. I don't. $6 million? No, that's not too much money for Quinn Hughes. Not with his offensive ability. I wouldn't say that's too much money for his age. Did they ever come out and say what he actually got yet? I haven't heard any confirmation of dollars. I heard it was $3 million for 3 years for Peterson and 6 for Quinn. And was it 5.75 for Quinn and 6.75 for Peterson or something like that? The Peterson is nice for now, but in the long run, it could really. I mean, if he's gambling on himself, and if he gets the 90 to 95 point 40 goal scorer that it looks like his talent could make him out to be, he could end up getting a wicked huge contract the next one. I don't think it's too much money for Quinn Hughes. I know he still has to work on his defensive game, and he's never going to be spectacular defensively. He's too small for that, but and he's too much of an offensive-minded individual for that. But he'll get better at it, and he looks like he's going to be a 60 to 70 point player. So. Do you think Peterson will get 100 points this year? I wouldn't mind. Craig Smith hasn't played center for a long time, but he started out in the league as a center. If he could work out in center, that would help out an awful lot. Got to see him in an actual game, though. Yeah, I heard they tried him at left wing in Montreal and he didn't look good, but that doesn't mean, like, they're pretty impatient over there. So they were probably fairly impatient and didn't let him, have a couple of games. I don't know. You think he gets 85 points? Yeah, I mean, I would probably say about 85 to 92 if he has a full year and he's fully healthy. I would say somewhere around there. Which coach will be fired before the end of the season? I'll tell you what, if that defense crumbles in Vancouver, Green won't last much longer. AV, we already talked about. If Philadelphia doesn't do well this year, AV's gone for sure. And Craig Berube. Craig Berube could be gone. That would be my guys that are closest to the hot seat, I suppose. Maybe DeBoer, but I think if Vegas really does crappy for some reason, then I guess they would have to fire DeBoer for sure. What about Ryan Strome? Yeah, Flyers continue to fail. He will get fired, I think. I know Whiteshell's going to come out and say this because he wants Dubas to get fired. Actually, well, if Toronto doesn't have a good regular season, then, but we didn't even talk about that. Keefe has got a 2-year extension. Keefe, which doesn't really change much for whether you're going to get fired or not, actually. If Toronto doesn't come out of the gate strong, Sheldon Keefe could be gone early, but I don't know. They are just on the... There's so many things that could change in Toronto. I think... Hackstall will be at least 2 years. You don't think they're good assistants, CL, in Philadelphia? Yo and... I think Poyle could be on the hot seat in Nashville as far as GMs getting fired. Yeah, they would have to have a bad regular season right off the get-go. But even if that, I don't know. I think it would more than likely Dubas would get fired than Keefe because, I don't know. They saved their butt a little. Dubas can keep on talking about how they would be better if it didn't have COVID. They would have had more cap space and all that kind of stuff like that. He had the perfect plan, and then COVID came. Jim Benning would probably be a really good idea to fire Jim Benning, but it doesn't look like it's ever going to happen, honestly. I mean, Tucker Pullman contract right there alone. Like, what the hell was that? That was terrible. Terrible contract. Tucker Pullman contract's got to be one of the worst contracts I've ever seen. Just wait till Vancouver fans get to watch that guy slosh around on the ice. Maybe Goodbranson was only 1 year, so that was pretty bad too, though. Oh, I don't agree. I don't think Seattle is really thinking that they're gonna succeed all that much this year. It depends. I mean, if he pisses off all the players there and everything like that, maybe, but I think he's got a pretty solid spot. It's a spot he probably should have waited for when he came out of college. Skinner. Skinner's the worst contract for sure, no doubt about it. Did they actually come out and say what he signed for now, finally? Whatever they're not... Now, Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes. Okay, here we go. I should change my title. Okay, so it was more than they thought. Pettersson's deal is for 3 years at an average of 7.35. Hughes' deal is for 6 years at 7.85. Six years at 7.85. Yeah, I don't know. There would have to be. I mean, Holland could get fired if they really implode defensively. If the Keith contract and stuff, and if the Nurse contract goes south, watch out. I mean, that it would be absolutely devastating for the Edmonton Oilers. Well, we got Quinn Hughes at just under 8 for 6. So I wonder if that's already on cap friendly, because they're super fast at that. I don't know how they do it. I swear to God, they actually call cap friendly and tell them that it's happening. Yeah, they got it in there now. So cap room, what does their cap room look like? Well, first I'll look at. So they bought out 1 year of his free agency. At 27, he'll be a free agent at $8 million. Yotes GM just because. I think the Yotes GM has done really well. Ducks GM, yeah, I'd have to agree. Flames GM, Treliving should be gone. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I think Treliving is on the biggest hot seat out of everybody. Wilson's safe. I still think that was more of an ownership thing for the Carlson contract, although in San Jose they say no. But if those contracts were Wilson's idea, he should have been fired a long time ago, for sure. Totally agree with you there. So what does that put them now for cap space? They have 0 cap space. They're over by $1.5 million. Easy enough to figure out, solve, but they're over by $1.5 million. Do they still have players to sign? A punching bag as they enter the building, yeah. What was I looking at? I was looking at Vancouver, the Vancouver Canucks. Okay. So Peterson at that point, he's going to be 25. If he puts up like a couple 95-point seasons, they might not be able to afford him. I don't know. Who else is coming off the books? So they still got to sign Tyler no. Everybody's signed now. Everybody's signed in Vancouver, and they're in $1.5 million over. So they just put somebody on. Hopefully they can get somebody on waivers. Good thing they've got Tucker Pullman at 2.5 for the next 4 years. 4 years. Absolutely ridiculous contract. Absolutely ridiculous. But Peterson, they're going to have to sign Bo Horvat into. Oh, you know what's going to. And then, of course, Brock Besser's next year. Brock Besser is next year, and they have, as it stands right now, they're going to have $13 million in projected cap space next year. They got to sign Brock Besser. That's it, the major one that they got to sign. So they could sign him. And then the following year, they got to fit Horvat in. Brock Besser will be 25. You're going to give him a bridge? They got to give him at least 6 point something million. Wow. They are balancing a pretty heavy. I think JT Miller might end up having to be traded. He needs to be signed into the same year as Horvat. I don't know if they... I find it depends on how much the cap goes up, but if the cap doesn't go up too much, they're going to have a really good, difficult time getting JT Miller and Brock Besser under the cap. For sure. Make sure you're hitting that like button, and thanks for coming in, everybody that's in the land. We're talking Hughes and Pettersson contract right now, of course, because it's the biggest thing right now. But if you have any fantasy comments you want to make or anything, if you have any players you're considering which round they're going to put in, let me know. I think if it came right down to it, it depends though. Besser, I believe he's American. He's from Minnesota. Besser is from Minnesota, so I don't know. How much does he like it in Vancouver? Those are the things you don't know, right? Like, not that he even doesn't like it in Vancouver, but would he want to, how much would he like to go to the United States? What money are you talking about? What's he looking for? Because Besser, if he puts up like 30, 40 goal seasons in the next 2 years, he could easily ask for $8 million. I wouldn't say they're screwed, but Besser will be on Team USA for sure, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I can't see them not selecting Besser for Team USA. He had 49 points in 56 games. He was on a 40-goal pace last year. So if he does that, 40 goals and 75 points or something like that, I think he could easily ask for $8 million a year. And that could be maybe too steep for Vancouver. And that's maybe why all these trade rumors have been around Besser for quite some time now. What's he going to sign for? Like, if he goes 8, what are they going to try to get him for? 7? Maybe if they do a bridge, they could probably get him for like just under 7 for 2 years, or maybe 6.5 for 2. No, it's got to be 7 because they're going to have to give him a qualifying offer anyways. And he's going to have arbitration rights. If he puts up those kind of numbers and goes to arbitration, what's the number going to be? Tough call. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab another coffee. Okay, we're back. Where did everybody go? Everybody had to leave at 3 today? Come on now. So what did you guys think of what did you think of the deal? I mean, I don't think they have much of a choice. I don't think they had too much of a choice but to give them those contracts. Got to roll with it. I don't know who's going to play defense for them. Quinn's got to get way better defensively for sure. So what would you do, John Weichel? 3-year deal. Pedersen took a bridge at pretty much Aho money. Just under Aho money. Quinn, how do you trade Quinn Hughes? Like, maybe you're right. Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to trade Quinn Hughes for something. Maybe it wouldn't have been a bad idea. You could have got an absolutely killer package for him. Like, what could you get for Quinn Hughes? It would have to be a team that could sign him for what they signed him for. I think there'd be a long list of teams that would be in there for Quinn Hughes for sure. You'd have to trade him to some team that's actually fairly deep on defense as it is. Maybe the Islanders. You could just grab a whole crap load of prospects. Maybe like the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's a righty too, isn't he? No, he's left. He's a lefty. Okay. You'd have to trade him for like 2 defensemen and picks, so you can improve your overall depth. New Jersey Devils. Well, that would be a whole lot of offensive players. Who are you gonna? Who would you get back? I want Magmadulin. You'd want to get like Magmadulin for. Yeah, you could certainly get some good forwards out of them, but they don't really need forwards. You're trading from an area of weakness to make it a strength. I'm not taking PK Subban back. Are you crazy? Not a chance. No way am I taking that contract back if I'm trading Hughes. No chance. Let's see what does New Jersey Devils have here? They don't really need him unless they're going to give up Ty Smith. But then you're in the same situation pretty much. Doesn't make much sense. I don't think New Jersey would be a fit. Detroit Red Wings. The Detroit Red Wings would work, but you're not going to get back the D-men you want. You'd have to take some of their D-men, like prospect D-men. You could get Philip Hronek, who's a righty. There's no way they're giving you Sider. No chance in God's green earth. And then, well, maybe Simone Edvinsson straight across. I don't even know if Detroit would trade Simone Edvinsson for Hughes straight across, because Edvinsson is going to be a beast defensively, probably. Mrazek might not even beat Campbell out. But is that because they think that's where they should go, or they think that that's where people will pick them? Because somebody's going to pick Mrazek for sure. Somebody will pick Mrazek for sure. So where did you get this NHL fantasy rankings? Where did you get those rankings from? Yeah, I would say Campbell's more likely. Okay. Fantasy top 10 sleeper picks. Let's see what they got. Mackenzie Weegar. That's a good one. That's really good. What am I thinking? Mackenzie Weegar would be fantastic. They got Zach Hyman as a sleeper pick. I don't think he'll be picked as a sleeper. Vanacek, no, that's a horrible pick. No way would I touch that. Spurgeon, yeah, for sure. Connor Garland at number 5. Do you think people are going to sleep on Garland? Six, D'Angelo, I agree with that. Batherson, probably, yeah. Jordan Eberle, no. Jordan Eberle is not going to get many points. I bet you you'll be disappointed if you take Eberle in the middle rounds. I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't doubt if Eberle only gets like 30 points this year. You heard that? I wouldn't doubt it at all. I was right. Peterson, 9. They got Peterson at 9. And Joel Farabee. That's a good one. I don't know if people are actually sleeping on Farabee, but I'd be taking Farabee. If I can get Farabee in the 7, 8, 9 spot, woo! Yeah, Eberle as a sleeper pick. First of all, I don't think people are going to sleep on him because he's on Seattle. I think Seattle players are going to be a sexy pick this year. But I think Joel Farabee is a good one. A lot of people will forget about Farabee. Yeah, like I said, I don't think they're going to sleep on Schwartz. I probably fade Schwartz, but it's not because I don't like him. It's just because he's too injury prone. Unless it's like way late. If he falls, yeah, sure, I'll give him a shot, but... What other stuff do we got here? You said top 100? Top 250 from NHL.com. So they got McDavid first, Draisaitl. Yeah, because he gets to play with McDavid. I get it. McKinnon, Kucherov. Can't really disagree with any of those. Vasilevsky, 6. Can't really disagree with their top 15. Brady Tkachuk, wow. Wow. At 15? Holy crap. I love Brady Tkachuk, but I don't know about that. Brady Tkachuk over Barkov, Point, Marner, Hedman, Kaprizov. Wow. Adam Fox is too high. I don't know if Adam Fox is going to get the same point. Aho at 23. Kucherov is probably going to give you more points than... But Pasternak, it's the goals, right? Well, Bergeron's probably only a 60-point guy now. Crosby at 33. I'd take Crosby over Stamkos all day. You never know, he could get injured anytime. Ekblad's way too high. Laner, Kemper, Hellebuck all at 24, 25, 26. Yeah, he's better than 33 for sure. I would put him ahead of Svechnikov. The goaltenders, I'd have to do the math on that. I'm not sure. But as far as other forwards are concerned, I probably got to put him ahead of Aho, Zibanejad. Kirill Kaprizov could be. He is going to miss some of the season, but I think you got to have, like, Barkov I think is too high. I like Barkov. But he would be in the Barkov area. 16, somewhere right there. Because everything after 13, Huberdeau, Ovechkin, no way. Oh, Ovechkin, yeah, you're getting 3 goals, 3 points for goals. I forgot about that. Huberdeau is not a big goal scorer, so... Yeah, I'm fading Price all day, I think. Yeah, he's in the top 50, Kaprizov. Isn't he in the top 50? Yeah. Quinn Hughes, I think, is 38. I don't know. We'll see what he turns out to. I love his skill and everything. Oh, Nikolai Ehlers at 44. Sweet. I'll take Ehlers at 44. No problems there. I'll take him over Landeskog all day long, man. Elias Pettersson is too low. Igor Shesterkin, people are sleeping on Shesterkin too. That would probably be my first goaltender picked at 37. If I could get him, that's like, what round would that be? Oh, that's in the second round. It depends on where I pick, I guess, but Frederick Anderson, I'm not taking a chance at that spot. Seth Jones is I think Seth Jones is going to put more offense up than he has for a long time. That's not a bad sleeper pick, but it probably won't sleep. People just, because of the name value, people will probably take him. I take Swayman over Price. Bobrovsky, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Spencer Knight at 56. They're not sleeping on Spencer Knight or Sorokin. I'd love to take Sorokin, but he's got Varlamov playing with him. I think he's too high as much as I love him. Ropo Hintz at 70, down in, now you're looking at what, the third round? Isn't a bad pick. He was a point-a gamer last year. He's going to be on the top line in Dallas. Yeah, it's very wrong when it's wrong, yeah. Juicy Saros at 73. I think he's great, but he's biting top too much. More than he can chew there in Nashville this year, I think. Preds are probably going to be bad. Nah, I wouldn't. I'm fading them. I just don't think that. I can't take a chance. I can't take it. Like, you're going to need Hines to motivate these guys for 82 games to play as hard as they were last year. And I just can't see it. They'll burn out. That's the only way. They're going to have to outwork the crap out of everybody in order to win on a regular basis. But who else are you going to take instead of him at this? See, they got Linus Allmark at 79, but he's got to fight it out with Swayman. I guess the good thing with Juicy Saros is he's got nobody to fight it out with. Sean Couturier at 86 would be a nice pickup. Torrey Krug at 88. Yeah, 91 for Price. That's ridiculous. I guess you are really running out of goaltenders by the time you get to Saros, eh? There's not too many goaltenders left that you can take. Because, yeah, Bobrovsky. Okay, what goaltenders do they have after Bobrovsky? Carter Hart at 150. I'd take Carter. I'll roll the dice on Carter Hart. I'll roll the dice on Carter Hart to have a decent year. And D'Angelo at 146. That's a nice late scoop. In fact, I would go Jake Ottinger too, because I think he could steal the number 1 off of Hudobin. No, Kemper's up there, way up there. Kemper's way up. Kemper's in with Lehner. Kemper's in with Lehner and Hellebuck. Oh, and Ty Smith would be a nice little pickup, but it's a sophomore. That's the thing. Victor Arvidsson at 138. Count me in on that. Yeah, it is. Anderson's on the list. Frederick Anderson is too high. 49. That's a gamble with his injuries, but... Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Dylan Larkin at 142. Somebody's got to get offense for Detroit. Oh, Stützle at 156. Sign me up. Sign me up for Stützle at 156. Jonathan Toews even at, well, he's got a year off, so. There, Eberle is at 165. Okay, that makes sense. Joel Farabee at 178. Absolute freaking gold. Gold at 178. He's going to be playing top minutes, getting top power play time. They were great in the second half last year. Tkachuk comes back. I don't know if they're ever going to try him at center, but the guy, I think he's going to put up. He's got a chance to put up some huge numbers. The kid is super skilled. Yeah, I love Brady Tkachuk. You know me. But I even think that's a little high. Oliver Wahlstrom, I'll take him at 180. He'll probably pot quite a few goals this year. Cam Atkinson. Take Philadelphia Flyers. That's what I'd be looking at, a lot of Philadelphia Flyers. Knowing my luck, Carter Hart will crap the bed again and they'll be no good. But Capo Caco, taking these young Rangers and stuff like that down here is a Nils Hoglander. Nico Hischier, you got the injury issue. Timo Meyer's got to have a bounce back. I get it. Mike Hoffman, I wouldn't touch. Boquist. Boquist, man. Boquist would be one of my defensemen. I don't, for sure. What's the 250? Jack Studnicka at 250? Are you freaking kidding me? No, there's got to be more players than that. Owen Tippett at 249. That is gravy. And Kokaniemi at 248. Wow, there's a lot of good players there. Pavel Zacha could have a great year. Yeah. Nick Schmaltz, no way. Rasmus Anderson, I don't think he's going to put up the offense in Calgary. Just because of the system that they play, I probably wouldn't touch it. I don't think he's going to have enough offense either, man. I don't think he's going to have the offense this year. That's a pretty interesting list. I'd have to think of... I wonder who's not on that list that I would put on there. Frank Vetrano. Jacob Slavin. I like Jacob Slavin a lot, but really, Alex Newhook is there. Eric Chernak. I don't think the offense is there for that. Kravtsov. I would probably take a chance at Podkolzin over Kravtsov. Yeah. Duncan Keith is complaining about taking the vaccine. Colton Parayko. I wouldn't touch Colton Parayko. Sharon Govich, though. Noah Dobson would be a nice pickup. I'm just trying to think of who's not on there that I would have on there at the top 250. I did not see Appleton on there, but he, like, Tolvanen. I didn't see Tolvanen for Nashville. So Keith, let me look up that Twitter there. Oh, Hamonic is trending too. Is he going to not play or what? Oh, okay. They can still put Ferlin on, so they're okay. Okay, well, there's nothing about Hamonic there. He's publicly complaining. So what's he saying? Duncan Keith took part. So he felt pressured to get the vaccine. All right. I don't know how much of a point you're making. I like you said, I don't talk about the vaccine. You do or don't, whatever. That's your choice, whatever the case may be. But I'm a little like, if you're gonna not do it, don't do it. If you're gonna take it and then complain afterwards about it, I don't know. Seems kind of weird that you would be sitting complaining about it. But whatever, he's an Oiler now. Just, man, I don't know. I'm more concerned about how he's going to do it in an Oilers jersey than I am about that crap. How's he going to be in an Oilers jersey? Because as it stands right now, like from what I've seen from Chicago, I don't think that's going to look too good. I'd like to think otherwise, but I hear people in Edmonton are like, I think Keith has got a lot more to give. He's got a lot of talent. He's going to do well in an Edmonton Oilers uniform. Okay, why do you think that? What gives you that impression? Oh, it's just what I think. So in other words, you just hope that he does because you don't have any reasoning based on what he's done in the past 2 years to make that opinion. Just, that's what I think. That's it. Most of those people didn't even probably watch a Chicago Blackhawks game last year. They're just saying that because they want to think positive, I guess, or whatever. I'm like, when it comes to life outside of hockey, which shouldn't be allowed, actually. There shouldn't be any life outside of hockey. But anyways, it is. It's the truth. When it comes to life outside of hockey, I'm like the most positive person You ever want to? But when it comes to hockey, I'm totally a realist. It's a good thing I don't have that way personality on the out in real life, because I'd be like so negative, terrible. But I'm more concerned about Keith on the ice, and I don't think it's gonna that contract's gonna look good. I guess. I mean, but Chicago was pretty. Chicago, everything Chicago was offense last year. So all I know is that everybody he played with played better when they weren't playing with Duncan Keith. So that's not really a good sign. It's not really a good sign. Brendan Shanahan probably won't get fired. Jeez, John Weichel comes in, the first thing he says. He hasn't been back for a while. I'm scared. I'm scared of that defense for Edmonton. I really am. It's thankfully they have enough. They have so much offense that at least in the regular season, it's probably not going to matter. But in the playoffs, I don't know. I can't see it. I just can't see it. McDavid goes and gets 160 points, though. It probably, none of it, the rest of it will matter. He'll be just getting like 4 points a game, which means they're scoring at least 3 goals a game. They just got to find a way to stop 4 goals from going in. And even with the bad defense that they have, they might be able to manage that if Smith is playing hot and all of that. Oh, I got one more subscriber. Woo! And we got our Atlantic Division standings. One is going pretty good. One more view, and we're at 100. Not too shabby. I'm holding on for longer than I should here. I want more people. I don't want to stop. It's too much fun. Come back, everybody. Hey, who's back? Good, you guys came back. It just woke me up. Oh, whoa, there's 2 concurrents. So anyways, yeah. Duncan Keith, I don't know. He's not a bright dude. It doesn't sound like he's a bright dude. Whether you agree with him or not, I don't care. Like, I don't care about his view of COVID. But I just don't think it's bright for him to come out in public and say that. You got a problem with the NHLPA? Just bring it up with the NHLPA. You got to bring it out in public. I don't know. It's weird. Very weird. I guess I should watch more of... I guess I shouldn't really talk about it until I know more about what he's doing. Yeah, if Shanahan's going to get fired as president of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Probably not. Maybe, though. I mean, they did choose Dubas over Lamoriello there. I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall as Lamoriello and Dubas talked to each other. That would have been interesting. because if you got the optics on what they did with Tavares just looks terrible. They brought over Lamoriello kind of in a way. How did that work? They brought over Tavares and then they brought over Lamoriello? You know, they're working with the Islanders to bring over Tavares. They bring over Tavares, and then Lamoriello resigns and goes to Toronto. How did that work? Did they bring Lamoriello over first and then bring over Tavares? I think it was the other way around, right? I can't remember now. But whatever it was, they went through hell and high water to get Tavares over there. Oh, so they fired him before they brought over Tavares. Are you sure? I could have swore Tavares was already there. I would agree. I would think that Lamoriello would not have been on board with that contract at all. You're sure? Yeah, like for sure, no way Lamoriello would have been on board with that contract. That makes total sense because there's no way that I don't think Lou would have been. So now look, going back at that, you look at it from that perspective, it looks really bad. Then Lou goes to the island and brings the Islanders to 2 semifinals without Tavares, after he says that he doesn't think the signing of Tavares is a good move. I'd say Lamoriello wins all day long, and Toronto looks terrible. That's disgraceful, really. But I mean, Toronto's always done that. I mean, they just consistently make stupid moves over and over and over again. It doesn't seem to matter what they try to do in Toronto. They screw it up somehow. They do it. It was a stupid move on Toronto's part. Yes, the Tavares. I said it when they did it. And I got slammed by Toronto fans. They're like, what are you talking about? You don't give up on Tavares if you have a chance and all that kind of stuff like that. I went on Sirius Radio about it, and the guy on Sirius Radio said that, you know, if you can get Tavares, you got to get him. I'm like, no, that's not the way the NHL works anymore. You've already got Matthews there. You only need a second-line center. What do you need to throw $11 million? I know I love Tavares, but you just don't need him. It's not the way it works in the NHL anymore. You got to have depth in your lineup. Now, I realize that his plan was to get Tavares, to, you know, you get Marner and all that. They drafted Marner and all that, and then the cap would go up and they'd slowly bring people in, but I still don't think it would work. But apparently he had his cap guy was the guy that was part of making up the cap on the CBA. So they knew every little nook and cranny and all that kind of stuff like that. And possibly if COVID doesn't happen, and maybe it works, but Well, that's the thing is I believe Toronto was telling, I think that was collusion between Toronto and Tavares. And that was the other bad thing. They were basically saying, no, take your time, in so many words. They were saying, take your time, like if, kind of in their own way, they were saying, it doesn't hurt our feelings if you don't make up your mind till you become a free agent and we get you for free. In fact, if you wait, we'll give you $11.5 million. Agents talk to, I would love to know, how do you know what an agent said to a general manager? How do you know they haven't had those talks beforehand? Almost all, surely they do. And from Tavares' perspective, does he really want the Islanders to make a trade and make the team weaker that he's going to? So I was saying at the time, if I were the Islanders, I would have traded him already. I would have had a deadline in my mind, a trade made up, and I would have traded him. But the problem was he was going to Toronto for sure, and everybody knew it. So when you made the trade, you wouldn't have got anybody back. You wouldn't have got much back. It would have been a short-term deal. And the Islanders were probably a victim of being the nice guy there. Because Tavares would have had to move his family or leave his family for the rest of that year. And they didn't want to treat a guy like that. Probably. But the way I see it is, if he hasn't made up his mind by that time, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that there's a little bit of resentment from Tavares towards the Islanders for the way they, let's face it, all the time he was there, they bobbled the ball quite a bit. And the he knows the Islanders and their ownership, they don't want to look stupid, but they end up looking stupid anyways. But they don't look stupid in a way that they mistreat their stars. They don't that. They may make bad moves or whatever. Yeah. They may make bad moves, poor decisions, but they never really mistreated their stars. And it's sort of a code with them. And I think Tavares knew it. Toronto knew it. And they talked to their agent and said, hey, you know what? We don't want to give anything up for Tavares, so just let him hold out. And yeah, does Tavares piss off the fan base that he was with? Yeah, absolutely. And do they have a right to be pissed off? Probably. I think it was about maybe 2 weeks before. I think if he hasn't made up his mind by the deadline, you trade him. Simple as that. What are you going to do? I'm still deciding now. Let me put it this way. And again, Tom Dundon is one of my favorite owners for this reason. Tom Dundon would have traded him without a thought. He would have traded him for sure. Even if it was only for a second round pick. You don't want to be here, you don't want to be here. If you got to hum and haw about it that much, then go. Then go. We don't want people that kind of want to be here, that maybe want to be here. We want people that are for sure want to be here, and that's it. If there's any thought in your head that you might not want to, then go. And that's what they should have did. And I think they would have got a decent package for him. And yeah, is it going to piss him off that he has to go and leave his family? Sure, but I mean, they got to do what's best for their organization. So, And either way, Toronto, it was a bad, like, I don't know. I didn't like it right from the get-go. I just didn't like it. At the time, they had Kadri there, and he was looking like a good second-line center. Now, you know, that didn't totally pan out because of some stupid decisions he made in the playoffs, but it's not that difficult to get a second-line center. Yeah. It does take away the spirit of the team. Like, and the other thing, it's not with Dunn, and it's not just that, it's he has no problems if you want to be somewhere else. Like, he doesn't think badly about it. But I'm almost positive if he was in that situation, he would have been like, no, if you got to choose, then we're trading you. Simple as that. It's obvious you want to go, like, you have something in you, wants to go play in Toronto, which is where his home is and all that stuff like that. And we don't want anybody with that inkling in their mind, so you're gone. Wilson's coming around. Oh. Yeah, that one on, was that Demelin? I'm not sure that was, he really meant to do that at all. Oh, for sure. I'll be all over that Rangers Caps game for sure. I'll be doing, I don't know what day that is, but I'll be doing a live for it for sure. Yeah, Tom Wilson is, I love the guy. I think he's great. He's great for hockey. I got some game on there. I don't know if I'll watch it or not. I'll see. It's Friday. I know I'm going out. We're going shopping after I pick up Caroline. And then I don't know what we're doing after that. But either that or I don't know if we're coming home first or what. But Canes versus Habs. That's so cool you guys can get excited about preseason games, man. Because of the Kotkaniemi thing or whatever. I suppose that makes it somewhat exciting, but when that first game of Canes Habs in the regular season, I'm gonna want to watch that for sure. Yeah, I'm not motivated enough to go do all that and stare at my computer to watch a preseason game now. So that's how little I want. I don't know if the Jays are playing tonight, but yeah, there's so many other things I'd rather do than watch a preseason game, pretty much. If it was on, I would flip back and forth a little bit just to see, but probably after about 3-4 minutes, I would get bored and turn it. Every time I see somebody go into the zone and a guy passes up the hit and see guys flailing their sticks around in the neutral zone just with half-assedly. Every time I see it, I just turn the channel. It just bores me. I am so terrible. I'm supposed to be bringing in fans and excitement, but I can't. Yeah, Phillies are done. Done. Yeah, I know. Once I have I have all the games in the regular season. I have all the games in the regular season. Almost rest in peace, my Jays too. They got to beat. Well, the good thing is they got the Orioles now for 3 games. They could win all 3 of those, but they pretty much have to win all 3 of those. I watch junior hockey, and I get AHL games too. Now that's something that I'll stream. I'll stream AHL games and see actual hockey so I can watch, and junior games and stuff like that so I can watch drafted players. I'll do that. But preseason, I mean, I'm not seeing anything. I'm just seeing a guy. Well, I'll take AHL. They're playing actual hockey. Oh, you can't get it. Oh, I see what you mean. You don't get it anywhere. Yeah, there's not much you can do. I don't know. Can't you stream AHL games? I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could go on the AHL website and they'll show you games. I'm positive of it. But I'll do that. I'll go on my computer and watch AHL games, junior games or whatever. But I'm not going to go on my computer and go out of my way to watch a preseason game. If they showed the scrimmages and stuff, I would watch that for sure. Oh, that's too bad. Can't watch U.S. Hockey League games? Well, guys, I think I'll call her a weekend now. It was on for quite a long time there. That was fun. I'll see you on Monday, and there's going to be lots of news till Monday. I did a video today. I'll be posting it this weekend. Make sure to check out the last Pacific one I did to give it some extra boost. We're doing well. We're doing well. We're getting lots of views and all that stuff like that. You guys are helping out. Our videos are doing well. Take care, everybody. See you on Monday. Okay, bye.